Okay. What you making, Bobby?
I made a homemade beef stroganoff.
Ooh, that sounds good. I can't eat meat.
What?
That
I'm
sounds
still on my
delicious.
fast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had some beef stroganoff in a while,
Mm,
so
good stuff.
that sounds
Hey, speaking of
delicious.
beef stroganoff, we live.
We live, baby. We live. Hey, you know what? I cooked tonight too. Since I was off today, I had the time, man. I cooked two different options. I made a teriyaki stir fry, gluten free, of course, and I
Mhm.
made some salmon with some asparagus. So it's depending what you want. Hey, I got
Yeah.
that. Got that.
You're so sweet. Not me, baby. Not my kitchen. Whatever I cook is what you eat. And apparently, you ain't that hungry if you don't eat what I cook.
Not everybody
Look,
eats fish around here, so I gotta make an
Uh,
option. I'm
right.
I'm normally like that, but I, I've adopted some of these gentle parenting techniques. Is
good for you.
Oh. So what you're
No, really
saying
good.
is your kids are bugging you. I get
Say
it.
what?
'Cause
Not
my kids,
me. Hey, so I can't force no one to eat no fish, man, and I'm not gonna waste my good salmon.
Mm,
Salmon is
that's true.
expensive, so
nah,
I'll rather
nah,
give
I'm
you
just
that
Nope.
asking.
option. You're not wasting my salmon now, because it's gonna
See,
be
you
up.
should have made some
No.
teriyaki salmon. That would
They still wouldn't have touched it,
Now
they
that
wouldn't
sounds
touch it.
but
delicious.
that does sound
That
good. I'm gonna
does.
make that
Mm,
next time.
Look,
All right,
for
so
I
like you
you.
got
said, we are
When was the
live.
last time you made some salsa?
ooh.
Ooh,
Who?
ooh.
Who,
When was
me?
the last time I made salsa?
Him?
It's been a while. It's been a
Geronimo.
while.
You got some you
Maybe
got some
about
peppers.
4 or 5
Cause
months.
he
I
cause he
grew
gave me the
one.
special recipe, but I haven't made it in years.
Hey,
Ooh.
I'll make some salsa now.
Now you know what I made.
Oh,
I
good. I'm
know.
gonna have to
Speaking
try
of
that.
salsa, but you know what I'm saying? You speaking of salsa, it has nothing to do with it. But welcome to episode 37. So technically speaking news. We bringing you some news that
That
You can
you
use.
can use.
hey, I figured I'd start it off that way because Gmo be always doing it, and I was like, look, let me go ahead and hijack the intro.
That's what's up. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. That didn't transition well at all, but we had to do
We had to do it.
it. we
Hmm.
Were you gonna
Yeah.
introduce the guest too?
Well, no, I'm gonna let you go ahead
You
and
gonna let
do
me?
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first we got to go around the room with all of our co-hosts. We got the wonderful Miss Bobby Lopez. How you doing tonight, ma'am?
Fantastic.
Why are you doing fantastic? Let the
Why do
world
you
know.
think I'm doing
Well,
fantastic?
we don't let the world know. Speak your
I
mind.
think you know. Can I guess? Can I guess?
Because we're out here to make America godly again.
Make
Oh,
America godly again.
I
Okay.
thought you was making
Out here to
America
make America
bloods
great
again.
again, man. We're going
You said
we're bringing
you're
it.
making American what?
I thought she was making America bloods again because she got
Bloods
on
again.
all that
No,
red.
Picking back,
no,
picking back. Oh,
no,
picking
baby.
back.
We all bleed one color at the end of the day. We all the same. We all one race. That's
I
human.
like it.
That is
I
it.
like
All
it.
I
made in
like
the image of God, whether you like it or not.
Creative Native is live. He to support what she's wearing. He said Trumptastic Day.
Trump-tastic day. Okay.
On
Right.
that note, we got the Corey Giovanni. How you doing, sir?
I'm good celebrating MLK Day also, you know what I'm saying? Because you
Right.
can't
Mhm.
forget that man
That
right
is
there, you
true.
know what I'm
Shout out
saying?
to Martin Luther King, all
Martin
the
Luther
surviving
King.
King family for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah, because
Right.
you know, he wanted to make sure that all babies, black
Mm.
babies, white babies, brown babies, it doesn't matter the content of your the color of your
No,
skin.
come on, man.
The color of your skin,
That's a
but the
difference.
content of your character.
Content of
And
your
in
character.
this character of life, that
Yes.
takes a big precedence. And I'm gonna pass it back on to this character I know named Geronimo.
What's popping? What's popping? Um, dude, one of my favorite quotes from Martin Luther King was, "If you're gonna do a job, do it well." And this was
Ooh.
back in when was this? Like the 60s. He was speaking to a group of junior high school kids. And I'm gonna say some words, but this was just the way it was talked about at that time. And he was talking about civil rights was a brand new thing, like it was about to get passed. And he was telling these kids, you're about to have opportunities that your parents, your grandparents didn't have. And he was saying, when you get these opportunities, don't do a Negro job, do a good job. Don't do a good Negro job. Do a good job. And he said something on the lines that if you can't be a road, be a trail, but be the best trail that everyone's ever traveled. Like he just basically, and this was a group of junior high school kids, man.
And that type of rhetoric still rings true today. That doesn't change at all.
Yeah. So
always do a good job and blaze that trail, even if you're not the one making the path, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So that resonates with me. Anytime I need to pick me up, I go back and watch that speech. It's called "What's Your Life's Blueprint." For anyone that just needs a good lift me
What's
up.
your life's blueprint? Okay.
What's your life's blueprint? So definitely, I appreciate the sacrifices he made. The 3 S's, right? Salvation, sacrifice, and
struggle.
Salvation, struggle, and sacrifice. But they definitely did all of that, and
did all that.
Benefit from that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I appreciate that, man. Hey, I gotta drop the bomb for MLK, man.
Yeah. Actually, that's actually a rephrased quote of a scripture. But before we go into that, we got somebody new in the corner.
Yes.
I see 4 people. I see 4 people.
We do. We have a special guest. Let me introduce her correctly. Our special guest, she is an Air Force veteran. So, thank you for your service, ma'am.
What's y'all's chant whenever you for Air Force? What's your chant?
We got a few of them, and we had Fly Fight Win.
No,
that was one. I don't know what the new one is now.
He was breaking up a little bit. What did she ask?
He was asking what was the chant for
What's the chant?
Fly Fight Win.
Who? There you go.
Fly Fight Win.
No.
It used to be what was it? Air Power.
Air Power.
Air Power.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that.
I mean, we can sing the Air Force song, but we're limited on time.
That's not.
So not only is she an Air Force veteran, she's a licensed social worker, an adjunct professor, writer, poet, and a Francophile. And she'll explain what that is because I had to Google it. Living in New York City. So, how you say it? Francophile? I was way off. Francophile. There you go. All right. So Facebook, IG, YouTube, help me welcome my friend, Miss Danielle Devine. Let's go. Yeah. How you doing tonight, ma'am? She's traveling, so
and my connection is a little bit janky. Just so you know.
It's all good. It's all good. So her flight got delayed in Atlanta.
If you got that,
to New York. Yeah, we got that. We got that. So, but she's still joining us. She's a trooper. So that's love right there. So just asking how you doing, man. We introduced you. So how you doing? She might be locking up again. Yeah, that's that Atlanta airport.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Is that Verizon? I don't know. T-Mobile.
She might have to join. She might have to rejoin us. Yeah, we lost it. We lost it.
Oh. Man, I was gonna compliment her so we can start the show on a good foot.
She jumped right back in. Let me see.
Okay. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you and hear you.
Boom. There we go.
Good.
You hear us.
We got someone. We got Jeremiah. Jeremiah 2911. Is she wearing a MAGA shirt?
She definitely is.
Oh, it says "Make America Godly Again." Godly again.
Okay, and it got a scripture. It says Second Chronicles
7 verse 14.
Go ahead, speak up on it.
What Second Chronicles 7:14 is?
Yes.
Second Chronicles talks about 7:14 talks about like those people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. I will hear from heaven and heal their land.
Heal their land. There you go.
That's the synopsis. That's not word for word, so don't come at me. But
it's all right.
I do know the scripture. That's
all good.
Pasted on my chest, baby.
Right.
Well, since we gotta wait for Danielle's connection to get good, we might as well talk about what's going on today. We were kind of talking about it offline. And the young lady you named, what was her name again? Corey? I'm assuming that was on Facebook, maybe YouTube. What was that at?
No, he said Jeremiah 29:11. That's a different verse.
This is just Jeremiah 29:11.
No, someone had asked who was the person that asked if she was wearing a MAGA shirt.
Jeremiah 29:11. That's their
that's their name.
That's
to answer your
name.
question, my friend, yes, I am, but it doesn't stand for great; it stands for godly. So
Okay,
yes,
there we
it
go.
says MAGA.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about that since we got to wait for our guests to reconnect. It's inauguration day.
It is. Today's inauguration day, and it just so happened to fall into MLK Day. Normally, that doesn't generally happen. But did you know that
Okay, let's see.
San Antonio has one of the largest Martin Luther King marches in the United States? It's
You
done
know,
here.
I found that out a little while ago.
Have you ever been to one here?
I have not. I have not. Since
I
the day
did. I did the march about 12 years ago, and the only reason why, well, not the only reason why, one of the reasons why I did it was because it was a beautiful day. Oh, the weather was perfect. The march was great. We get good exercise. You get to see a whole historical background. People of every creed, color, race, religion coming out and supporting, what Martin Luther King's vision was. When he talked about his "I Have a Dream" speech, and different pastors came out and stuff. It was real beautiful and stuff. But today, if y'all don't know, in the San Antonio area, it was below freezing almost all day, and we are expecting some snow this evening, which is unprecedented weather here. All right, this is dangerous conditions. So people up in the north who are like used to the snow, that's cool for you, boo, but that don't work down here in the south. People don't know how to drive. Okay, so it does get
no,
very dangerous out here.
they
That black
already shut the schools down.
Yeah,
Look,
schools are shut down for tomorrow.
Black
Julie,
ice, probably.
are you having to
I'm
go in
sure.
tomorrow?
No, we got the max telework order.
We got the mass telework order as well. So the government said, nope.
No, I never
great
had a
because
chance to go here, but
I'd
growing
rather
up in
safe than
LA,
sorry.
my grandma, she used to live on right there on
Crenshaw.
Van Ness and Martin Luther King Boulevard, right there. So we were right there. So
Oh,
every
yeah.
year growing up, we always
Oh,
were
man.
right there at the MLK parade right there on Martin Luther King Boulevard. We would watch the whole parade, then we will walk from Van Ness and Martin Luther King to the Coliseum, because that's typically where the parade would end at. So we every single year, we never missed the year, man. And I'm gonna take it back, man. I remember when Tevin Campbell was popping. Remember Tevin Campbell?
Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I
Sing
want
for
to know your name.
Hey, so I remember he was there that year. Like when he had that single pop, that was like the biggest thing. Tevin Campbell was at the MLK parade, boy. Woo-hoo.
And I'm gonna tell you why. He was there, because I remember that day too. Because his song was the leading song of the Boys in the Hood soundtrack. The song with him and Chubb Rock. Forget what people about to say. You get up and escape. Girl, it's not too late. It's not too late. Now, baby, take me by the hand.
Okay.
I know.
I'm
I
back.
remember.
Miss Danielle, you're back. Glad to have you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome
Sorry that you're
back.
having those issues.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
I'm so sorry.
It's all good. We're gonna work around it.
I've been looking forward to this all
MLK
month.
and Donald Trump. Hey, it's all, we're gonna make it work.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. If anything happens, you coming back. All right.
Anyway.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll if we gotta move furniture. If that's what Bernie Mac would say. R.I.P. Bernie Mac. We gotta move some furniture. We'll make it work.
Talking about him wants some milk and cookies.
Rest in peace, Bernie Mac.
I'm gonna try to move around.
I bet it's cold out there in Georgia too. This whole area is getting blast
Yes,
winter
it's
weather.
freezing.
Yeah.
Hey,
southeast.
As funny as I'm not funny, but as weird as it may be, it is very cold out here in California. Like I woke up one morning and it was 42 degrees. I was like, bruh, 42 degrees?
Yeah, this morning it was 24 here. That's
nah.
Yeah,
I don't even get out the bed unless it's 40 degrees.
That answers your question, Creative Native 24. That's freezing for us. But that's not normal for San Antonio. So our roads, the infrastructure wasn't built to sustain that, like a New York or somewhere that snows regularly. So yeah, it's chaos here. Last time it happened, we called it Snowvid because it was at the tail end of COVID.
Yep. That was right around Valentine's day of 2021, February
Yep.
2021 is when all that happened, and we had like 3 days of luscious snow, stuff that like I had never seen in my lifetime.
Mm.
Here, I'm 37, so I've not seen snow like that, and kids got to play in it for all of 2 minutes, and they were like, "Yeah, this is for the birds," and they were
Yeah.
right back.
It's not like on the TV show. It's not like the cartoons
Nah.
where you get to snow
Nah.
it.
Right.
Nah, bro.
I've
Nah.
had my taste of snow. I'm good.
I
Good.
experienced snow when I was 6th grade. I went to a camp with my when 6th grade. It was like 6th grade graduation. Because back then in Hawthorne, I went to Jefferson Elementary.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hawthorne represent.
I know, right? Man, I was like, this ain't what I thought it was gonna taste like. I picked up snow off the ground. I was like, this tastes like dirt.
Hey, I hope it wasn't
What
lemonade.
happened to the Lord snow cone over here?
I made sure it was not yellow though. I knew about that because I had already peed in snow before I tasted it.
Oh,
I
Lord.
was like, okay, so that's what it looked like when you pee in it. Look, I was 11.
Nah, I never had the
We're-
urge to taste it. I don't like snow. I just don't like snow at all. Nope. No, y'all can have that. Y'all can
Well,
have.
see, I
How you
had
doing out
special
there,
snow.
Danny? Can you? Oh,
Uh-oh.
spoke too soon.
Stop saying her name.
I know, right?
So, well, why don't you tell us a little bit? I know you gave us an intro. How do you know Danielle? How did you meet her and get to network with her to be able to bring her onto the show?
Ooh, good question. So
I mean, I'm sorry that she's not here. I know she's good, but what's that like?
We're gonna have to use another word than network.
because the network isn't really working too well.
I'm getting all these
Okay.
puns coming up right now.
You're good. You're good.
Clearly.
No, so her and I was stationed at Davis Mountain years ago, and we crossed paths. I was telling Corey, I think we met like around 2006. And she was just part. You know, when you're in the military, certain bases you get that crew, right? And she was just part of that crew, man. Like that was like the best crew that I ever had since I was in the military. And we stayed connected. When I got stationed in North Carolina, she hosted me on my drive there. I got a chance to hang out and enjoy Augusta, Georgia on my way. And then when I was out there, I could crash at her spot. We could hit Atlanta, you know what I mean? She'll take me out there with some of her family. So just good peoples, man. Good peoples all the way around, man. So
I like Davis Mountain. I flew a big mission over Davis Mountain Air Force Base, and we were there doing some stuff for the Army.
Oh yeah.
I got to learn about the cactuses and stuff, and how the base has to build around them and everything.
Yeah, they're
like
protected species.
200 years old. They're very
Mhm.
they're like an endangered species of plant.
Yeah. They call it the Bugs Bunny cactus. They got the arms and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Saguaro.
That's what
can't
Dave
even-
Chappelle called him when he came out to Davis Mountain. Dave Chappelle came and did a show at a
Did he?
casino out there, like right after the back when he left Comic Century or Comic Central, Comedy Central.
Comedy Central. Mhm.
And he was like, "Man, y'all got those Bugs Bunny cactus out here." He was going in on.
Man, my heart broke when they quit filming the Chappelle show. We had so many good funny bits that we would end up repeating. We still repeat stuff from the Chappelle show. Plus it's not always,
One of the most quotable.
it ain't always super appropriate, but I don't mean it's not funny.
No.
I love Dave Chappelle comedy because he say the stuff that you think but you can't say.
Yeah.
I just saw his skit.
Comedy that last space where you should truly be able to speak freely, whether you offend somebody or not, and it just happened to be funny. But just like you said, Corey, it's that space where you're like, man, I don't want to say this because it's probably funny, it's true, but somebody else has the guts to do it.
Yeah,
and they pay for it.
Yup.
So that's when you have that what you call that FU money, right? And speaking of FU money, Danny, welcome back.
How we doing? How's our connection right now? Can you hear us?
Okay, I can hear a little bit now. What did you guys say?
Okay.
He's saying welcome back.
I hate this.
It's all
It's all
good.
good. It's all good.
It is all good. If it keeps dropping,
No, you don't look. I've been waiting all month, and now it's like I can't even join.
we're gonna make it
Hey.
work. We're gonna
Well,
make it work.
while you're on, can we ask you how you came about, the path that you've chosen for your life? How you came from the Air Force doing the adjunct professor, how you got into poetry, what gives you motivation to kind of go down that path?
She might have a delay.
Yeah. Maybe they calling her. Can you hear us, Danny? Give us
Can
a
you hear
nod
it?
if you can.
Can I call in? How about that? Or does it have to be on a video? Do you have like
No,
that
you can
option like
call.
Zoom?
That would be interesting for like the future.
That would be nice if we could.
Right. Nah, unfortunately, we don't have that option.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I'm
Like,
not sure if you can hear me or not.
We can hear you. We can
We
hear
can
you.
hear
We
you.
might
Can you
just
hear
have
us?
to. We might just have
hear
Okay,
to.
good.
hear you.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
You clear now. You know what I'm saying?
You
You're not
good
even
now.
doing the matrix. You're not
Yeah.
even doing the matrix. Yeah, you
Ask
good.
me that question again, Bobby.
Oh, Danielle, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Danielle?
Looks
I
like
don't
It's
know how to do
fine.
it silently.
okay, great.
Can you hear me? Oh,
If your course is
You.
gonna be
Oh,
oh
see?
no.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's dropping. We're
Oh,
gonna have to probably switch gears. Hold on. Let me let her
definitely gonna have
know.
to try this again.
Yeah, we'll try it again. We could keep it pushing on.
All right. Well,
Bree, why don't you bring us into our first topic? Let us know what's going on.
uh, shoot, current events. Meta Man, Meta currently laying off 5% of their work staff.
Hmm.
You know,
I wonder why.
because I know why.
Hmm.
Everybody know why. It
Mhm.
starts with 2 letters. Okay,
2
2
letters.
letters.
2 letters.
One of them is A, and the other
The
one
other
is
one is
I.
I.
AI. That
Hey,
is why.
speaking of Meta, I heard that, and it's hard to tell, right? We've talked about what's actual truth and whatnot, but I heard that Meta was in the process of actually buying TikTok so they could keep it live here in the States. And the whole reason why it went down was because they were doing like a data transfer or
No, I can tell you why it was then went down. It was literally from what the conversations we had. Okay,
something.
so the Supreme Court upheld their decision to ban it,
Hmm.
right?
Mhm.
However, and when you look at like when you go on there, there's I believe President Trump and the CEO of TikTok, who was actually at the inauguration,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
had an agreed that they're going to be a 90-day ban. I mean, a 90-day extension on the ban, and with that, in that 90 days has the option for everybody to be able to do 2 things: one, get their data off of TikTok, and or 2, have a solidified buyer that will keep the core of TikTok of what it was, and also keep keep how it, how you could like the TikTok the people who make money on TikTok, because TikTok was down. It was shut down. I went on there and I was like, okay, boom, touched on it. I was like, it said, unfortunately, TikTok is not available in the US, but don't worry, uh President Donald Trump, and it said it. I put that. It was like
I saw that.
President Donald
I
Trump
saw that.
did something, but you guys seen it. Everybody
Mm.
saw it because
Mhm.
everybody who had TikTok went on there, and then people were just like, "Oh no!" One of a friend of mine said that they left their money inside. They didn't get a chance to withdraw their money from TikTok because they were they make a lot of money off of TikTok. They make
I was
Oh,
like, withdraw money. What are you talking about?
does the money stay in an account in TikTok before you like withdraw it?
Yeah, and so the money stays
Ooh.
inside the TikTok,
Ooh.
like the cash until you like withdraw it, right? So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
could
yeah.
withdraw it and transfer it to your bank. Me personally, I had like $1.61 in there left. I was like, I'm good.
So I was gonna say, like, what type of money we talking about? Because I would
No,
rather.
she had because she was part of TikTok partner program, and she was a
Mm.
successful TikTok shop owner.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying, and it was fitness. So I don't know if you guys know the number 1 and 2 things to sell on social media and affiliate marketing is health and digital. Like and because those the major two niches.
Digital what?
Like digital documents. I'm sorry, digital documents, which because it costs nothing to make, and everybody can make it and sell it. And then there's health products like gummies, nutrition, weight wristbands, weight bands, all these things, right? Those are the number 1 and 2 things to sell in any social media platform with affiliate links. And she was caking up. And I saw her post. She was upset because she didn't get a chance to withdraw her money before the ban. And she's my follower. And y'all know I put that video up there to show you how to get your information from TikTok. Hey,
I don't want to go to get that video.
They can actually go to TikTok if they still got it. And they can go to our Facebook. They can go to our Technically Speaking Facebook page. They can go everywhere to get it. I mean, I posted on I didn't post it on Instagram because I'm not on Instagram.
So this ain't no secret or nothing. It's just something you can Google. How do I get my data from TikTok?
Yeah, it's not. They only have to go to our Technically Speaking news site to get that information with verbiage. And I made it less than 45 seconds. So it's not something that you got to be able to say like, oh, it's boring.
It's digestible.
I mean, but it's basically back now though, huh?
It's back if you haven't deleted it from your app store. I mean, because it's not back on. It's not on the app store.
That's right. See, I got a 15-year-old right here, man. She was kind of briefing me that night because she was showing me Red Note, and basically everyone moved to Red Note like real quick.
They moved to Red Note or Lemon 8, and those are shut down too, along with CapCut. CapCut is not available, and that hurts.
Lemonade is top. There, it was. I just watched. She was showing me all kind of stuff on Lemonade. I mean, but TikTok, because I asked her, what's up with the TikTok? She says she has to wait till it gets back on the store. She literally said what you just said. But like, to wrap up the Facebook thing, and let's have a deeper conversation about TikTok. So the Meta thing, not just Facebook, but Meta. One of the things that Mark Zuckerberg has said about why he was doing that was they're targeting the low performers. They're targeting the low performers. Like basically, if you're not cutting the mustard, you're out of here. Basically,
mustard. And guess what? Kendrick Lamar said. He said,
"Go, man, huh?"
I said Kendrick Lamar said it. You know what I'm saying? People feeling bad, but somebody got to do it. And I take and I know Bobby's like, what are they talking about? Bobby's like, I'm
my
not
own life over here, man. I could care less.
But so here's the thing, Bobby. What we talked about, it was probably right before you became our co-host. We talked about how Elon Musk was able to find out a lot of errors in his company, I believe in Tesla, and so he let go, like, what was it, like all of his staff almost, and then
what kind of errors that would take away a human life, errors that would millions of dollars to fix?
Financial. I think it was like over $1 or $2 billion of money.
That's a lot of freaking money.
Right. So he let people go. He let people go, and then also told them they have to repay back the money that he let them, that they were missing. Am I right, Geronimo? It was
that wasn't Tesla. That was at X.
SpaceX.
That's when not even SpaceX. It was X.
It was just at X.
When he came and took over X and made that massive layoff. Some of them had got paid when they weren't supposed to get paid. And he was like, "Nah, y'all need to pay that back."
And didn't I say he's gonna hire somebody else that he knows gonna be like, we need to that firm and that company who discovered that error, they're gonna go ahead and probably refer him to somebody else. Now, guess what happened? Facebook is doing the same thing.
Good point. I mean, because that's what it came down to, was about productivity. So, and that was the question. Bobby, what's your thoughts on him, Mark Zuckerberg, targeting the bottom 5%, essentially top underperformers to let them go. The underperformers. If you're underperforming and you're part of the bottom 5%, you're out. What you think about that?
I think that's just business.
Ooh, yeah. I mean,
that's hard. People are like, oh my gosh, that's just business. So if you're not performing, you know, to the standard, and even though you haven't done nothing wrong, depending on where you live, it's at will employment, and it sucks.
Yeah.
You can be let go for anything, and you know it's just kind of like a pill you have to swallow. But hey, that struggle, that's going to be part of it. But you can get back up on your feet. You're smart. If you made it to even the bottom 5% have made it, I imagine that somebody would be able to get a job elsewhere. You know, with that on their resume, having a good clean, not just a clean record, but a good clean employment record. Or we don't have to say, oh, well, this person is constantly, you know, constantly late, or there's constantly something going on and it begins to affect your work.
Yeah.
It's just business, honestly.
Yeah, good point. And when it comes to business, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is results. If you're not delivering results, there's no place for you. If it's a good team, top performers. We all business owners here, right? When you build a team, do you want the top performer or the mediocre performer? Who will you want to pay?
Yeah, top performers. But you know what? I with 5% and Meta, I'm assuming has a lot of employees because they're very, very successful in what they do. And when I say that, so 5%, that's like in a department. That got to be a department. And when I say that, that could be like a department that's not hey, look who just popped up.
We got a surprise guest, y'all.
Oh.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
Dr.
I'm gonna jump in.
I have a question for you, Dr. Poole.
Well, real quick, let's introduce. So Danny, she's gonna come back next week since she was traveling. So we still gonna get her story shared. But Dr. Poole has been itching to come on because he has something he needs to get off his chest. We're closing with that topic, Dr. Poole. So things worked out. It was meant to be. But for those that have not checked in with us before, Dr. Poole owns his own pool company out there in Los Angeles, California. He's an entrepreneur just like us, good dude, and he always has some good thoughts to share with us. So welcome back, Dr. Poole.
Thank you,
sir. I believe I'm gonna just say this prophetically. Dr. Poole is going to probably be the first millionaire I know that will give me a loan for my business within the next year.
Hey, I reason why I say that.
The reason why
I will. I have full faith in you and your entrepreneurial expertise, bro. And you know, making investments in smart people is a smart move. So
that's why I said what I said, because of what's going on. You are, and I got something for you. Maybe I'll share it with you off. You know what? I'm gonna share it with you on, so that way.
I was like, come on, Corey. Don't hide it.
What the hell?
Yeah. But we're not gonna talk about it right now because I don't want to steal his thunder.
So let's bring you up to speed, Dr. Poole. So now we're talking about last week, Mark Zuckerberg had announced that he was doing a 5% layoff across Meta. And they're targeting the underperformers of the company. Well, what's your thought on that right there?
Well, yeah, it makes sense. If you're going to cut people, cut the lower tier before you cut the top tier. I get that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about the layoff. All I heard from Mark Zuckerberg was the fact that he was going to like inform some new rules over their platform or whatever. So that's interesting. That's an interesting thing.
Came on because I was just about to lead into that, but you can take off. You can take that.
No, I don't know too much about it. I just saw a quick like YouTube little thing about it. I don't know too much about it.
No, I think we all agree, man. I mean, if you're not able to cut the mustard, you gotta go straight up. I'm not paying you just to get paid. I'm paying you to deliver results and keep my customers satisfied. So it's funny, man. When I talk to a lot of different people when it comes to business, right? And like the one thing I rarely hear is how important it is to keep the customers happy. Because what you do, Dr. Poole, what you do, Bobby, what you do, Corey, what I do is all about our customers. If they ain't happy, we not doing our job right. What I need you for if you're not keeping my customer happy? Get out of here, man. Maybe we will liberate you back to the job market.
Yeah, you know, you can be upgraded to employee.
There's a lot of places hiring right now. You know, the job market is rich. You know, fast food is always available.
It is. And in California, they upgraded it to $16.75.
Yeah. You can drive a car.
Yeah.
Drive your car and do anything with your car nowadays.
Yeah.
True. You gotta hustle, baby. You gotta hustle.
You know what I'm saying? You can easily get upgraded to not employee. I said that early. You could get upgraded to a customer. Very cool.
Hey, but you can't take that same work ethic with you doing your own hustle that you had at the job that got you fired to begin with. That means you really gonna have to hustle.
Yeah. You get that change in your life at some point, you know. If you gotta fail, then you gotta fail, but hopefully you learning, you know.
Yeah. True.
Your ass will get cut.
That's why Phil got an L at the end of it, so you can learn
it. You know.
There it is. Hell yeah. Now, what was you talking about this new policy, Bobby, that Mark Zuckerberg was implementing?
So Mark Zuckerberg, he came on the Joe Rogan podcast. You know, Joe Rogan podcast is going to be the end all be all for getting out what you want to say to people without like cameras in your face and 900 different reporters trying to ask you something. And it was interesting because he admitted, which I want to say a lot of us probably knew, but he admitted that the Biden administration had come to him, having him shut down certain viewpoints to restrict speech that was happening specifically about COVID, specifically about COVID vaccines, and about the potential dangers and risks of taking them. And anybody that was saying something in negative in comparison to what the mainstream media was putting out, they were shut down. People were being shadow banned. I had multiple friends that were like, "Hey, did you see any of these posts?" I said, "I didn't see anything." So they posted them, but that doesn't mean anybody can see them. They'll show up in their feed, but only they can see them.
Of course.
It was censorship, basically.
So it is censorship. And I'm like, why? So I'm kind of iffy on Zuckerberg. Like, why? The damage has already been done, my friend. The damage has already been done. Why would you come out like now? Because it doesn't make it any better years down the road. You know.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Dr. Poole?
Well, Zuckerberg has been around for a long time, you know, and he has really not given one particular stance. It seems like he's wishy-washy. He's going to go with whatever the times are and what's going to benefit his future and his pocketbook ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't knock him. You know, if you watch the movie on how he got created, he took another person's idea and he figured out a way to just magnetize it by 100. And so he's a smart guy on figuring out how he can get ahead. And I can't knock him for it, but I don't think he's as smart as a lot of the other tech guys are. And the fact that he's so easily controlled by whoever is in charge is probably not going to look too good in his favor in the eyes of the majority.
I gotta agree with you on that. And Creative Native, he's right there with you. He says Zuck is trying to sell that he is a conservative now because of who he's hanging out with now. Yeah. I see it. Before you said what you said, Dr. Poole, I was thinking wishy-washy. Because like what
that's a perfect term.
Yeah, he is very wishy-washy, man.
I gotta debate that.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at this situation from a business standpoint. Government contracts, right? We know the whole world is moving into AI, metasphere, spatial technology.
Okay.
And we have a new president now, right? A president who's going to be signing these government contracts or agreeing to allow these government contracts go for bid. As a business, you want to be in the right. Am I right?
You have a point.
And then also think about it like this. What kind of contracts that he was, you know what I'm saying, that he got approved for through Biden. So Biden was probably like, look, okay, I'm giving you $1 billion contracts to run your business, to get things off the ground, to allow you to do what you have to do. I can't have you do this. And I'm talking about, I'm looking at it from a business point of view, not a personal point of view or ethical.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about pure business. You know what I'm saying? And then relationships run both ways. That's why I don't. And now that I'm looking, I've been in these courses and these meetings where how people get contracts from these businesses. You know what I'm saying? That when you get a government contract, let's say for instance, you get $1 million government contract to run your business, and you rely on this contract. What you don't want to do is just cut that funding because your staff, probably 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 people, not with $1 million contract, but let's say 1,000 people, right? They rely on this money. So yet you may want to,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You may want to be able to say like, hell no, I'm not going to do this freedom of speech. We're going to do this. Or you're going to be like, you know what? I know Joanne over here is a single mom who works for our company, and I can do this. This can potentially cut the funds for her and her family and her Medi-Cal, or her, not Medi-Cal, but her health insurance. Yeah. So let me take a step back and just go ahead and play ball.
You know, creative native
that deep.
I
don't think it goes that deep.
The creative native is saying with respect, that's a weak argument. But I see where you're coming from, Corey, because it's different when you're responsible for paying the folks on said contract, right? And I've been there. I've been behind the screen, if you will, right?
Behind the curtain.
The curtains, there you go. When government funds get delayed, and then you have to tap in the reserves to make sure you pay your employees, because the last thing government employees want to hear from the actual company is, hey, sorry, dog, I gotta pay you late because the government is paying us late, or we can't pay you because the government didn't pay me. That's like when the creditors call and I'm like, hey, dog, I told you last month, when I get my money, you get your money. So, you know, and the biggest thing I learned being able to run on the corporate team of a government contracting company is it is a game. It is a game, and you have to play the game. You could try to be tough and not conform if you want to, then that means you don't have to have that contract or keep said contract, because there's a thing called cause. If there's cause, they could take that contract. It's at the benefit of the government. The government can take that contract whenever they want to. So for those that's never had to help administer a government contract, they can take that thing. You piss the wrong person off. Matter of fact, I remember my first time, like my first week on the job, I started out as a recruiter on the corporate team. And this guy's being an idiot, and the government called and was like, tell him today was his last day. He's not allowed to come back. And the government has that authority. So just tells dude, hey man, I need you to bring your laptop and your badge. You're not going back to that building. The government don't want you back.
Right. I'm not seeing the relation. I hear what you're saying, but I'm not seeing the relation between that and something as giant as Facebook, and how that's gonna quote unquote benefit the government, unless it does benefit them by shutting down speech that doesn't conform to what it is they're putting out.
Now, mind you,
let me try to rephrase. Let me try to, because I'm picking up what you're putting down, Corey. So
yeah, because I'm not.
What he was saying is with the government moving into the AI space, in the virtual reality space, right? Meta is one of the top dogs in that realm. They may be trying to get, or may have some government contracts. I'm not aware of any, but that's not too far-fetched to think that they would try to get, or may already have some of those government contracts with the plethora of government agencies out there, right? To where that could have been a carrot on the stick. Like, hey, you want to keep these contracts, you're going to have to censor or be progressive, and you may or may not lose your contracts. That's basically what Corey was saying. Yeah. And I'm here to say that stuff happens. Like I said, and that's why I gave that example. The government can come back and be like, yeah, tell them they're done. And the company, even if it's a private company, you work for the government. That's your customer. The customer's right. I have to tell you, hey, you can't come back tomorrow because the government don't want you no more. So I can see that. I can see that.
And it's funny because I never looked at it like that until I started taking these classes. I'm like, when I saw how they said, well, there could be Elon Musk can find ways to cut $1 trillion of debt, right? He said he can find ways to cut the money. I'm like, okay, so if they release government contracts from companies, right? That means that's a lot of money, because it was over $50 billion worth of government contracts in 2020, between 2020 and 2024. I'm not sure if that number is 100% accurate, but
it's up there.
I was about to say their budget. That's probably pretty close, I'd say.
So think about the country, think about those who are not willing to conform to what the new presidency has stated for that. If it's 10 billion, that's 10 billion cut. Those 10 billion could be a bunch of jobs that just doesn't align with the vision of what the new president has. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's gonna, as they say, the shit rolls downhill. Remember that?
It does. and I can understand. That's why I was like, no wonder why Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and the owner of TikTok all was at the inauguration.
There's a whole lot of money in that mother.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget, man, Mar-a-Lago is very nice. You know, like I wouldn't mind getting a free trip to Mar-a-Lago for the night. You know, imagine the meal they ate that night.
Of course, the presidential plates. I would like to take a picture of the plates and send it.
But you know, it's funny you say that, right? Because you're talking Elon Musk. He got government contracts with SpaceX. Hey, he is making sure his government contracts are good.
Yeah,
he's good. They not going anywhere.
It's hard to tell. We're probably seeing only a snapshot of what they truly know. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're like blue or red. It really doesn't matter, because these people are going to make these decisions, and they have the money to do so. You know. Now, us trying to argue, not saying we're arguing, but people trying to argue about it, like, first of all, this ain't going to get us anywhere. No. Secondly, your opinion is just that, your opinion. It's not going to change the opinion of the government or anybody who's working for it. You know, so I mean, quite frankly, you're right. They could just be quote unquote in the line.
Yeah, and I mean, and if it's a business reason, because this is all speculation, right?
Yeah,
If it was a business reason, something, I mean, I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's either that or you gotta tell a bunch of people, you about to be on unemployment.
Yeah. So, and let's just be real. We already said AI is going to take a lot of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Did we not?
I got a question for you guys. So if technology jobs seem to be going more in favor of AI, would you still say that the tech market is one of the best markets to join right now, considering the turnover in AI compared to humans?
Yes.
Is it still smart for me to go into tech right now?
It is 100, especially for you.
Well, no, not me in general, but like
I still 100% tell high schoolers when I talk to them, absolutely get into the tech realm. Yeah, because it's constantly changing and advancing. That doesn't mean that AI is truly going to ever be able to take our jobs, because they're still always going to require human touch to a lot of things that we do.
So I'm gonna answer that question, but first, shout out to Danny, because she's joining us on IG, so she's still showing love. Have that same
hey, Danny
coming back. I had to make sure the team
stay connected. One way or the other.
Hey man, I told you, man, that's a beautiful spirit right there. But to answer that question, I think it depends, because not everybody is tech isn't for everybody. And that again, I got to put my school hat on when I'm trying to coach students, prospective tech students. It depends, man. If it matches your personality, because some people are better with their hands. Some people might make better mechanics. You know what I mean? Some people might be better with AC. I just had to have my vent for the dryer clean, Bobby. That's what was causing my leak. The vent was clogged. So some people, and that was 900 off the rip, gone. So gone.
Just to clear a vent? Dang.
Yeah, because I mean they got to get on the roof, and
sounds like I'm in the wrong business.
Dude, 900, dude. I was like, how much it costs? I'm thinking maybe like 300, 400, 500. He was like,
I'll get on your roof for a few hundred, man.
Dude, yeah, they had to, yeah. So I mean, there's so many options. It just depends. If that's the best fit for you, then yes. Because
Right.
I would never tell anyone do it for the money. Because if you do it for the money, but you don't really enjoy it or can't get yourself to learn how to enjoy it, you're gonna end up in that bottom 5% that Mark Zuckerberg is getting rid of because you can't
That's
fake
true.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That so if it's for you, that's what I'll say.
Where
Um,
is that 5% coming from? You think it's coming from the heat of the people who got him in trouble? Like, all right, all those people who told me to do this and we're doing this, they're gone, and that's that 5%, and he's just like getting rid of all that. You know what I'm saying? You think that was the 5%,
I wonder if he had them sign
Probably.
NDAs before he let them go.
right? Because he called out
That-
his fact
that looks
checkers,
like-
and
I
he was
would have
like, the
said
fact
so.
checkers were wrong, and et cetera, et cetera. You know, so were
Well,
those
I'm
the
pretty
people who got
sure.
laid off?
I'm
I'm
sure with
wondering.
that cut comes severances. They're a great company.
I was about to say,
Um,
I heard that there was severances. I did forget to
yeah,
mention it earlier.
Yeah.
So it's not
No,
like they were like,
that's good. That's
"Hi."
good. We're gonna send you
Yeah.
out in
yeah.
style. We're gonna send you out in style. Dr. Pooh, I think you onto something though. I mean, because business owners, they bring people on that are supposed to be specialists in a given area, right? If I hire
Right.
you to advise me in a specific area, you advise me wrong, I gotta let you go. I gotta find
Yeah,
somebody
Yeah.
that can give me better advice. So I think you hit it, man.
yeah,
No.
those will be the first ones gone for sure.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, and this, I mean, that's just how it is, man. Unfortunately, and no one's perfect, and that's how you learn, right? Maybe your next role, you be a better advisor. Maybe you do better due diligence or something.
Or
I don't
find somebody else who's stupid and then just pick up where you left off.
Well, there.
hey, it bees like that. So switching gears back to TikTok. So we were talking about this whole up and down thing with TikTok, Dr. Pooh. It was down, it was up again. Now, if you didn't delete it, you still got it. It won't be in the app stores for a couple of weeks. But what's your views on this whole TikTok back and forth?
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
glad you didn't
affecting
say what
me
I
in
got.
any way, shape, or form, man. I feel bad for the TikTokers out there. I've mentioned it before, and you guys got plenty of other platforms that you could find, and I hope that you take advantage. Also, maybe take this time to learn maybe a trade or something, something that's you could fall back on just in case you decide you don't want to follow through with the entertainment on the internet. It's always good to have something to fall back on.
One of the biggest
Right.
issues I hear in high school is that everybody's trying to push kids to go to college. But I told my daughter, I said, not everybody is meant for college. They're just not. There's people who are meant to work with their hands. There are many, many success stories of
Yeah.
people who just have nothing but a high school degree and end up becoming millionaires because they put their mind to work in a different way, and they were able to get out there differently. It's not for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, it's not.
But neither is the
No.
tech world, just like you were saying.
Yeah,
Not
same
everybody's
thing.
meant to be, doing what we do. It ain't for everybody. But find what you love doing and do it well.
I
Well,
wonder
let me
what's going to replace it.
look, well, here's the thing. TikTok is still up and active in America if you didn't remove it. The only thing about it is you're very limited. And let me tell you why TikTok was so special. Even though, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people, even myself, sometimes I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok. So TikTok, be honest, for real, like their algorithm is how would you say? It's you can't catch it. And when I say you can't catch it, means that everybody knows that on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, there's certain times where you can post and it'll catch fire. And there's certain times you post where you probably only the only person who will ever see it. So TikTok was the type where like you throw it in there and it's just rolls, right? I got 2,000 and I got 2,391 followers, right? So if I post something, sometimes 12 people will look at it. Sometimes 791 people will look at it. Sometimes 10,000 people will look at it, depending on what it is. And it has the data and the analytics to do it. That was the reason why a lot of people were so successful on TikTok, because they didn't restrict you by niche, right? They figured what was so fun about, oh, a lot of people see it, a lot of people like it, we're going to push it. And you would think all the other platforms are not like that or like that, but they're not.
They want you to pay.
I mean, excuse me.
They want you to pay for ads.
They want you to pay for ads. TikTok has that platform where you can pay for ads too. But the thing about it with TikTok, if you pay for ads with them, oh, you invested in them, they're gonna invest in you. I paid for an ad of a show that I wrote, and that bad boy got over 11,000 views, and I only paid $5.
All right, so basically, what
Pretty
you're
good
saying is TikTok, here we come. A TS TikTok channel coming soon. Hey man, if you can't beat them, join them. Let's go. And I was the most hater of TikTok. I'm saying that right now. Look, man, you done converted me. With that, what you just said, and I'm gonna keep it real. What Trump said, with the U.S. becoming 50% owner of it, we talking.
That makes
money
a difference.
Now, man.
That makes a
He did something. We were talking about this at the end of last year, man. And I was like, watch, he's gonna find a way. He'll do something.
He found a way.
Fucking did it.
He found a way.
I called it back. I called it back in March.
In like April, March time
Yeah.
frame. Yeah, the person who got behind TikTok was gonna win the election. That's essentially what you said, and that's what the F happened, boy. I mean, it is but you know what? That shows the power of tech. We started out, in tech, and we coming back around. It's tech that won this thing, man.
So today, Donald had talked about he gave a lot of credit to Barron because Barron's young, and he said, "Dad, you need to be tapping into all these areas right here of using the social media, using these platforms to get your voice out there. Because even though people know who you are, they don't know the behind the scenes of who you are. They want to be, people want to be solid in their vote. They don't want to be wishy-washy voters, because when wishy-washy voters, they're not going to turn out. But that's not what happened. And they said too, when he went on Joe Rogan's podcast, which was something that Barron asked him to do, to go and talk to Joe Rogan, go get out there. And sure enough, there's one of the highest amount of views he's ever received on not Trump, but Rogan had ever received on any one of his sit downs, on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast and stuff.
Now, let me say this. I did not vote for President Biden. I am not, you know what I'm saying? I mean, not President Biden. I mean, President Trump.
Like,
President Trump, right?
That's like
I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not anti-Republic. I'm not anti-Democrat. But I personally, as a business owner, I believe with risk comes rewards. High risk, high rewards. I think the Democratic Party played it safe. They only catered to the people they knew they was going to win. They, you know what I'm saying? Trump, when he said, I saw a post that he said, I want to congratulate, I want to thank the Black and brown Americans who voted for me, right? And let's just be honest. Those are the people who was like, we wanted something different, and they got it.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Whether I like it or not, he's the president.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a testament of if you want change, take the risk. And that should be for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're in politics, whether you're in small business, take the risk. High risk, high reward. When I was working in sales, like, you know what I'm saying? I never forget the exception, what is it called? Once you get approved, once they tell you got the job, it's called the acceptance letter call. You accept, you got your acceptance letter. This is how much you're going to be making. And then the DM, her, she was like, okay, well, this job is a high risk, high reward, and you're a top performer in retail, but can you duplicate or even surpass that in corporate America? You know what I'm saying? This is not, you're not going to be in front of a store where people are going to come into you. You got to go get it.
Yeah.
High risk, high reward. And I've seen those high rewards, and I was like, yeah. And that's what made me an entrepreneur today, is because I knew that I could do that inside of office where I was making calls to strangers, just trying to get on their radar to talk to them about something they already had.
Yeah.
And then sell them something different. And this wasn't just people. These were businesses, successful business that's already running. I'm calling to interrupt your business to make you change your employees' entire phone system to mine.
Yeah, we got to take that risk.
And guess what? every time I closed the deal, my close ratio was 92%.
Hey.
And the reason being, and it was the reason being because I did what somebody else wouldn't do. The Verizon rep would call them, send the email. I would literally drive out there, knock on the doors, and say, "Hey, you guys got 5 minutes? I've been calling you, but nobody picked up. Like, well, can you send us an email? Yeah, I can see you an email, but I like to be more personable because I know who I am.
Yeah,
I know that I bring the charm when I walk into the room.
Hey, charming ass.
Yeah, charming ass.
Hey, man, you make a good point, man. To cap that off and move to the last topic of the night, and that's what we brought Dr. Poole for us. I think, with to me to process it right, I've heard it in so many different ways that in any profession, skill, whatever, the people that are winners were just the ones that were dumb enough to not quit.
Yeah,
it's true.
You just didn't quit. Most people will give up, and the more people that drop off. If you're the one that had the cojones to take the risk to not quit, you're the only one left.
Give me the spoils. Give me the spoils.
That's what's up, man. So moving to the last topic of the night, man. We getting hot tonight. We're gonna talk about the California fires. Now, Donald had a lot to get up off his chest, man. Bring us in, man. You lead this, man. What do you want to talk about specifically about those California fires, man?
Well, I didn't prepare properly. I should have had some information that I could go off of. But the thing that I'm most upset about is just the lack of leadership and the nonchalantness of the responses of a lot of the people who are responsible for our state and city. It's like I see Gavin Newsom up here, and he's just got like this nonchalant attitude about himself and the way he's conducting himself on television. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the videos coming out of Los Angeles. Are you guys up to date? Bobby and Geronimo, what are they telling you guys in Texas is happening? If you don't mind me asking.
What are they telling us about what?
The fires that are happening out here right now.
So from what I'm gathering, there was $17 million worth of funding that was cut from the fire department. I heard that they did ask for people to come outside of California to come and help fight fires, which makes sense, but they were fielding their trucks through Sacramento to make sure that they had some sort of correct emissions happening, and so there were a lot of fire trucks being turned around and not being able to help because they weren't up to California code.
Yeah.
Which
a lot of legal
water's water. I don't know. I'm not a firefighter. I just think that there's definitely a lot of finger pointing, but at the end of the day, people are suffering.
Yeah.
People are hurting. Let's get a plan of action in place to get these people back on track. Get their lives back on track. The people had their whole not just like adults, but this affects children too.
Everybody.
Everybody. Got schools burned down. Home.
Yeah.
It's gotta be traumatic for kids.
Yeah. Good point.
It's hard too because it's like how do we know what's misinformation or not? Like a lot of the news that is going out right now about the lack of funding for the fire department, I think is really good and should have the world, at least the nation, aware. When they were talking about all these different policies and stuff, and because everything gets voted on here, these are things that I didn't even really think about or look at when they're on the docket for voting and whatnot, all the different measures and whatnot.
Right.
But every single one of these measures that have been placed in effect, have seems like it's done more damage than it's helped. It's like here in California, we talk about, we need to fight emissions. You know what I'm saying? Gavin Newsom says everybody has to have an electric car by like 2036 or something like that, right? And so, we're constantly being told, oh, we need to do more to protect the environment with weather controls and all this whatnot, and then a fire burns up 100-something acres and then just erases 10 years of work that, people in California have put in to try and change their life to follow to this new society of only electric.
Yeah.
the electric companies, and then it's like who's starting these fires? A lot of people say it's people starting these fires, but even if it isn't people starting these fires, they keep on blaming the electrical company and the poles being knocked down that are starting these fires also. How come we can't invest money in underground freaking wiring in 2025 in fire areas, and but we could invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in giving, kits to homeless people. You know what I'm saying? It's the priorities here are just so
Well,
lost. It
So if I
seems
could,
like.
I could ask the group a question.
okay, go ahead. After you, I have Angel's advocate to that.
Okay. I had seen an ad, maybe, or somebody asking the fire chief. She's like a large black woman with real short hair, asking about if she could go and carry like a man out of the fire, and she's kind of talking about how it's his fault. Like, how did he get him here to begin with?
Yeah.
Kind of a very snooty, ugly comment. Where I'm wondering if the shoe was on the other foot, and it was a man who had said that and
Oh, yeah.
said some shit about some woman getting herself stuck there, and like, oh well, screw you, you got yourself stuck there, kind of attitude. I'm not saying she said that,
Yeah.
but that attitude.
If my house is on fire, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what color you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come and put out the fire in my house.
Come
If
and
you're a
say
man, I probably
it.
have more confidence in a man doing it because they're stronger and faster. I'm sorry. That's
Ain't no
just my
reason to be sorry.
opinion.
It is what it
But
is.
we need more women in the workforce also, no
Yeah.
discrimination.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like there was a shot taken at her, huh?
Mhm.
I mean, if you send a shot at me, I'm clapping back. I don't
Right.
Yeah.
like
Well,
maybe am I understanding that right, Bobby? Because what right?
She
What was
was
the
she
question?
was being sit down like in an interview and being
Um,
asked about this. She, according to what I've heard, is they focus more on DEI initiatives, and so of course she checked the box. She was black and gay and something else. She was quite overweight for the type of job that they're supposed to be doing. I'm not going to say that's here or there because I'm not saying she can't do the job. I'm just saying if your
well,
job's
we got three police chiefs that are all DEI hires. And all three of them are lesbian women. And that's no knock against their community, what
yeah,
I'm saying, but it seems like it was a movement that got them in there as opposed to people who were maybe more qualified. Like I give Crowley, the main lady who's been doing the talking on the news, a lot of credit because she, unlike our mayor and governor, has been answering the hard questions, and she's probably taking so much heat behind the scenes for being forced to be as forthright with the people as she possibly can.
What's her position that lady you're talking about, Dr. Poole?
Crowley, she's the one who's the head fire chief. The other lady who made the comment about if a man got themselves in that situation, it's their fault, is a fire chief also, but she's not. I don't know if it's different districts. It's probably different districts, but the one who I've been seeing doing the most talking has been something Crowley. She's the Caucasian lady, the older looking white lady. And I give her credit. She's got the spotlight on her, and I think she's been doing an okay job. But this Karen Bass lady, if you're in California, man, in Los Angeles, please do not vote for this lady again, man. She has been very disappointing in her response in my
I want to
eyes.
hear what Corey's got to say.
Corey
Okay.
got something on you.
All right.
I'm not tracking a lot of it.
All right.
But go ahead.
I respect what Dr. Poole is saying because of the fact that it falls on her. She's the mayor, right? However, this is not the time where we should be pointing fingers. This is not the time to be. I mean, we're going to do that after these people are going to get their homes together.
Get everyone safe.
After, you know what I'm saying? Because shit, it's only 81. I think the Eaton fire is 81% contained now, which that one was the fire that started. So we're looking at from January 7th till January 20th. That's damn near 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people are not looking, and I say this sensitive and respectful to Dr. Poole. We can point the fingers, but let's get people safe first. Right
Sure.
now, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Let's look at that. And then we
Yeah.
can run the numbers. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
understand where people should like Karen Bash, she should be accountable for what they said about her, what she did, right? But that's not gonna help this lady and her family who their whole house burned down.
However, I want to just make one point on that because this isn't something that's just happened out of nowhere. Every year we have substantial fires that are destroying hundreds of acres. Last year
But
we
not
had
at
them,
this time
the
of the
year
year.
before that. But listen, my point is we should have been prepared. We know that our biggest natural disaster now is no longer earthquakes, but it's fires.
It's
And
fire.
yet we
This
are
is
so behind on our preparation to stop fires before they happen. If you want
Yeah.
some examples, I'll give you some great examples. Not just reservoirs not being full of water or redirecting water that comes from up north down south, but the simple fact of not having enough firefighters or having fire trucks that are stationed behind buildings and whatnot. There are EPA things that have been put in place that deny people being able to go in there and clear out dead brush that constantly gets reignited. I personally have been in Florida and I've seen them do controlled burns to manage their forestry in Florida. So it can be done and be done safely. But, and like I was saying earlier, there are so much fuzzy legal red tapes that have been placed here in Los Angeles that we aren't even aware of. Like, the EPA seriously is blocking people from going in and clearing out dead brush. Even all the brush that's going to be up there from this last fire, people won't be able to go up there and clear all that stuff out because they want to protect one particular plant or they want to protect one particular insect. So
That's
here we are placating to society saying, okay, we're going to protect this and we're going to protect that. And then we lose houses, okay, we didn't have water. That's a terrible thing that you open up fire hydrants with no water. You didn't have advanced warning, knowing that Santa Ana winds come through every year and start fires that destroy acres of land, and now we have defunded fire departments with pictures that are being sent across the country of 20 fire trucks that are in a building, because they need to be repaired.
Yeah.
But like California gets so much money from the government though, like for so many programs. Why is it that forestry is our least concern? And this just came out of nowhere. Oh my God. Nobody was prepared for this. Nah, people are mad because this has been continually happening every year for at least the last 10 years. And they're not doing shit. I'm sorry, excuse me.
It's all good. Got to get it out.
You live right there in it, man. You've got to be
Right.
frustrated.
I've lost
I-
3
I
houses.
hear what
I've
you're
lost
saying, but
I've lost 3 accounts. My
It's a
breeding
big
is fucked up, and I pay more taxes than everybody else in America besides New Yorkers. So fix
Now-
this shit, or stop voting these people in office. One or the other, It's got to be one or the other. Fix it or vote new people.
So I agree. There is a change that is needed, right? But are we
Yes.
going to have that conversation now, or are we going to find a solution now?
I hope we have it while we find the solution. Why can't we multitask and do where we have geniuses that are running? We have supposed very smart intellectual people running these boards. They should be able to do 2 things at once.
Can I jump
Gavin
in?
Newsom sat down with some people and made sure he had a slush fund put together so that California can fight whatever policies Donald Trump was going to try to put into
Go
office.
ahead.
That was more important than taking care of Californians right now in the moment. And to me, those priorities seem a little messed up. Let's focus on getting these people taken care of.
Yeah, I think to answer the Dr. Poole's question, so I am not a fan of multitasking. Because when we say multitasking, we're typically really just task switching. Because if I'm looking at this and I go to a different task, I cannot cognitively give you my full attention, right? So it's one's gonna take away from the other. I think the number one priority, to Bobby's point, should be let's come up with the solution. Let's focus on the solution first. Once everyone is safe, once it's contained, then I think you do the after actions report, lessons learned and stuff like that. And then I think that's when you start identifying, was it policies that prevented us from having the proper response, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I think the number one focus should be, let's get that solution, man. That should be the only thing that matters right now.
Right.
and
Getting the fires contained.
Yeah, get the fires
Ready.
contained and save lives and then get the fires contained. I mean, I don't know what order that goes in, but I feel like I'm not a firefighter, right?
It's mostly wildlands that's burning right now. Most of the houses are out of the way. It's all just the hills
out of the way or burnt down.
I'm not saying that's good, but I'm glad to hear a tree burnt down versus a whole house with a family in it.
No, yeah, 100%.
But it's been going on for 2 weeks now, 2 to 3 weeks. You know,
terrible.
That's
without. Is it going to be another 2 weeks?
Is the death count still at 27?
I don't know what the death count is.
That they know.
Oh yeah, they may not. There may be more once everything gets.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people unaccounted for too.
Mm.
Dude, there are some neighborhoods I still can't go to see if there's houses there or not. You know, I have a couple houses up there in PV. You know, they got the freeway. Once you get off on Sunset, man, it gets blocked off.
Yeah,
really. Corey was telling me it looked like a war zone up there.
Yeah, bro. I actually got to get off because I got a prior engagement at 6 o'clock on our time.
Aww.
But
Corey, man, I'm sorry, bro. We got to talk about this more, man. I love you, man.
I love you too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, you know what I'm saying? We both Californians. We actually are affected by this. But Donald, before I leave, I want you to talk something about what every pool owner should have, because I saw on the news that there's this it was 2 houses that was saved due to their pools and a $3,500 pool pump that they used to save their houses. Every house around those 2 homes were burnt down except for these 2 homes, and it happened in Pacific Palisades.
Yeah.
So I'll let you talk about that. I gotta go, and I'll catch you on the rebound because I know this is gonna be good. Y'all have a blessed day. I'm out.
All right, bro.
Be safe, man.
Man, I wish I had the name of that particular pump. I'll get it for you guys, and you could plug it. But almost any type of high pressure, high water pressure that you could funnel to like a hose of some sort, you would be able to use to siphon water out of your swimming pool and use it. Even if it were just it's a special pump. It's a special pump that reverts the water the opposite direction and sprays it out. And I don't know the name of it, but yes, they do sell them. And there are even for homeowners who have pools, just make sure, even sometimes if they're big enough, they can be big enough that they can helicopters and can siphon water out of swimming pools too sometimes. So there are some major perks to owning a pool. Yeah, in a fire, I guess, to an extent. You know, like
I mean, when you think about it, that's gonna be your largest water source on site.
Yeah.
Let that water go, baby. Save my house.
I would have been out there with a water hose, you know, trying to spray down what I could, doing the best that I could. I mean, that guy, there's a guy who tried to run for mayor. I can't remember his name. It's like
Rick
Santorum or something like that.
No.
I know Rick Sanchez, but that's Rick and Morty. So
no.
Well, anyway, there's this dude, right? He tried to run for mayor, and he owned a shopping plaza in Pacific Palisades. He's the guy who hired the special fire department, his own personal fire department, to come out and specifically save his mall structure. And they were out there fighting the fires, and they saved his mall structure.
Oh wow!
You know? And Rick Caruso is his name. There it is.
Oh, okay. So you're looking for it. I was like, no, I know his name is Rick.
He's a billion. He's like a billion. He's like a Trump kind of, but he's not as abrasive as Donald Trump. But he's a business owner. He's a project builder. He likes to build shit, you know. Mm-hmm. And he ran against Karen Bass. Karen Bass won, obviously, but hopefully, you know, when it comes around, they'll give this guy more favor, because I mean, he was not only there, but I mean, he could have let his shopping center burn and taken the insurance on it. But instead, he tried to save it because he wanted to preserve something in Pacific Palisades. And that's the type of commitment and character I want to see. When that mayor came back from her trip from Africa, and they had that English guy asking her questions, hey, what about this? What about that? And she just stood there and said absolutely nothing with her hands in front of her, you know, and that face, that told me everything I needed to know about her, you know, like her lack of concern or cadence, you know, was very disturbing. And then Gavin Newsom gets up there doing a little dance and shit, you know what I'm saying, with his half, like, this is not a half-cocked smile in time, Gavin Newsom, you know, like, You're about to be under a lot of fire,
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's looking
metaphorically.
good for him. Now I wonder what the mayor. I wonder if she was just in shock, because that reminds me of when they announced to Bush when the towers were hit, and he kind of had that deer in the headlights look
I
too.
got you for that. I got you. So yeah, Bush, he was sitting in front of a room of children reading a children's book to a bunch of children. So it would have been a little bit more awkward to address the public when you're in a setting like that, as opposed to getting off of a plane and you know that the fire happened already and you're going to be asked questions. Like
Yeah.
the first thing I saw when she said that, I was like, okay, nobody told her what to say yet. She needs to wait to be told what to say. And then the fact that she couldn't muster a single sentence, like, I need to get more information on the matter. I need to contact so-and-so, like the fire chief and talk to the fire. She didn't say nothing, man. Are they showing that video in Texas or is
Well, I don't watch local news. Everything I watch
Yes,
is
I've
on
seen
YouTube
it.
and online. I haven't seen it, but I can only I always try to look at it through the other person's lens. Like, if I was in that position, would I be able to come up with the words like that? I don't know. I probably would be like, give me a minute, because this is a lot.
she didn't even say
I don't.
that?
I was about
I
to
don't.
saying something would have been better than just standing there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
Like,
have nothing to say right now. I need more
sorry,
information. Please get back to me later.
Yeah.
Say anything.
Maybe I don't know. Like I said, I'm glad I'm not in a decision making type of position like that, because
Right.
I can't say that I would have done any better. You know what I mean? Like, just to be real, I could say I'm the most. We're gonna get through it. I don't know.
I don't believe that because you're a podcast host. I think you would have been able to come up with something on the fly to save your ass,
Be real.
I have a
I'm
question. I
keeping
have a
it real.
question because I'm not super familiar. I know that California has fires, but I'm not familiar with that. So Corey said that it doesn't normally happen this time of year in January. When does it happen?
No, it always happens during the Santa Anas. Every year between the end of December and the beginning of February is when we get our hardest weather. And normally we get our most rain, but we get vicious winds that don't come from the ocean. They come the opposite way. They're coming off the mountains. So it's getting extra velocity. And I know this because every year I prepare for it. This is the time of year when my pools are the worst every time. Is from the end of December to the beginning of February because of Santa Ana winds. And every single fire that happens during this particular wind cycle, that has been so destructive to our landscape, I can't even tell you how many acres.
The unique thing about this, because I remember this growing up, and I always keep tabs on it too every year. The one that made this time unique was it's normally like one area or the other area or the other area, like Palo Verde or Altadena, or it might be one or one or. This time it was like multiple.
Well, no, that's not true either.
Not like
that's
the
not
way
true.
Like that.
Yes, every year where there's a fire, there's always more than one fire. Now, normally they're not so impacted and close together. Normally there's the NorCal fire, there's the hillside fire where like in Riverside.
Specifically in a concentrated area like that, I've never seen it like that.
And
concentrate multiple fires in one concentrated area. I've never seen that before. Not like that. To your point, yes, sometimes it might be one in San Bernardino, one in Northern Cali, one in LA somewhere, and then typically in the hills. But this was all concentrated. That's the one thing that I've never seen that in my lifetime. My whole life.
That's what's leading to a lot of conspiracy theories, like a lot of.
By the way,
I would love to hear it.
What was it trying to lead into? However,
I was just waiting for that moment to be opened up. That's I got one. So, but I want to start with this, right? So, going off of what Trump said today, as far as I believe he's declaring a national emergency at the border. Is that the word? Something like that? Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Which will give him authority to use the military, the active military, not just the guard or the reserves, the actual military. Because now the cartel is categorized as terrorist. So I'm glad he said that, because what you haven't been hearing a lot with the issues at the border is how many people from our adversary nations that are coming in through the southern border. North Korea, China,
Somalia,
Iran, Russia. They're not really like an adversary, not like not like them, the top four, right? The big four. It ain't nothing for like you can't, right? As I mean, I don't think we can ever get to a point where we can catch them all, right? That's never gonna happen. That's utopia. That will never happen. But the no matter what, the few that get through, especially with what's going on right now, who's to say that some of them didn't have a mandate to go do something, right?
Yeah.
I believe that it's a terrorist attack. Because
Hey.
that one thing where it's so concentrated, I've never
Yeah.
seen that before. Not
Yeah.
in so many areas in LA. It's always been
I'm so
spread
proud
out.
of you right now.
You know,
I think it's a terrorist attack.
there's a thing called the law of average. You know, it's normally about a 1 out of 10 in sales. If you pitch 10 people, you should get a sale.
Yeah,
The more people
yeah.
you pitch. So if you let 10 people in, maybe one of them, let's give them benefit of the doubt. Let's say you let 100 people in, and let's give them a benefit of a doubt. Let's say you let 1,000 people. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say you let 10,000 people in.
All it takes is
What are the odds of one of them setting off a fucking bomb? You know, like
one.
the more people you let in, the more you increase your law of average. You know, if it only takes 1 out of 10 people and you let in tens of thousands, well, that's probably a few thousand. And they're going to be spread out all across America too.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
This time you didn't even need a bomb. That's so expensive. Just a lighter.
There are videos of people getting caught up by civilians. You know, there's one video, the blowtorch guy, they held him there and then they ended up releasing him because they didn't have enough evidence. You know,
that was the Middle East.
I saw that, and I felt for that dude too, because I mean, again, I think typically when people hear about the border, they just jump to something brown, Mexican, or you know, Southern or Central America.
Yeah, it's bigger.
But they're not looking at you know, someone from China, Russia, someone that's Iranian,
Pakistan, Afghanistan.
Right? I don't think anyone from any of our neighbor countries has anything like that against us. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was just saying. I briefed my commander less than 5 months ago on specifically people who are coming across the border that by statistics put out by Customs Border Patrol. So it's not like I made shit up and went along with it. This was all CBP.gov statistics of who's coming across. So when I think of people coming across the border, I'm not thinking of people from Honduras or Venezuela. I'm thinking of people from North Korea. I'm thinking of Asians, of Russians, of Iranians, people from Syria. Those are the people that I'm thinking of coming across. And those are the people that we should be truly worried about.
Yes.
That's the risk.
Yes. That, I mean, I tell you, I was Mountain for 8 years. So I sat in some briefings too. They know the deal, man. Hey, man, I actually applaud Trump for what he did in categorizing the cartel as terrorists, because for those that don't know, they make deals with the adversaries. The adversaries pay them to bring.
It's called being a wolf or something, right? They have a name for them. They call themselves wolves. Coyotes, is that what it is?
Coyote.
They're getting paid. That's money in people trafficking, man.
Yeah, imagine what is Kim Jong-un, the emperor of North Korea. He got deals with the cartel. Hey man, I need you to just hook, you know, get some of them in.
This ain't just TV stuff. This stuff actually,
it's real.
Truly happens. And we just looked at the largest, you know, what Trump signing the order today. He just shutting down like the largest human trafficking operation here in the United States. I want to see all of those children found. While I understand that's probably, like you said, living in utopia, I want to see those babies found.
Yeah.
That many children gone. Where are our priorities? Who's coming in and screaming for these kids?
Yeah.
You know? I got questions. That's all I'm saying.
It's gonna be interesting. But that's my theory. I got a secondary theory on that. Maybe it's just from the stuff.
So that's not what I was thinking. That's really interesting though, and I do like the way that you're going, but it's going to lead me into what my theory is as far as what I've been looking at. So we know that the Olympics are going to be held in Los Angeles supposedly in 2028, and they are wanting to make Los Angeles a smart city. What does that mean? What does that mean? A city ran solely by AI, that's solely digital. It's all electric. Like, what are we looking at? In order to be able to build something like that, you have to destroy what's currently there in order to be able to rebuild. So I I got questions. It's 2025, but depending on how much money you throw into it, you have the time to rebuild it the way that you want it. But why?
I feel a couple conspiracy theories could be true, man, because you see a lot more studies coming out on these underground bunkers and people, having these big facilities and shit built underground or in mountains and whatnot. A lot of
Yeah,
those
they said there was
celebrities
a
that were,
whole network of tunnels between different celebrity homes to different
yeah,
areas.
I
So
wouldn't
I'm
be
like, what?
surprised if they were trying to just tear down, because there was like a little conspiracy video I saw where a lot of trees remained in the cities. Even though the houses are completely burnt down, a lot of the trees are still there. And he showed this video of a map, and he put the map over the land of where the fire was at.
We
And
saw the same video then.
so it was like a train, right? And it was
Mhm.
it was so that they could build a train to get you from the South Bay to the hills and whatnot, super quick and shit. And so between those two things, it could seem like they're just trying to destroy the land so they could do
Yeah.
some new re-sculpting and rebuilding, and then all the rich people are just going to go live underneath the Griffith Park Observatory in that mountain right there, where they probably got 2 5-star hotels and shit, and underneath that mountain, and they're going to live the happy life, and then stare up at the stars through the Griffith Observatory and worship the devil, like the stars and shit. That's the Illuminati stuff for you right there, man. How you like that
And you know
conspiracy?
what? You could have so much money in the world and you will never have peace of mind.
Fuck that.
They don't have peace. Guess what? I ain't rich. I got peace, baby. I
I
got
survived the
peace. I
apocalypse.
got something that they don't. They got money, but that's monetary.
Yeah, that's true.
That comes and goes. You know what I mean?
Creative Native said they're not offering funds to rebuild, but they're offering funds to relocate.
Yeah, get out. We don't want you here.
Interesting.
I mean,
I haven't heard that, but
that's fascinating though, because
interesting.
I don't know, like I thought along those lines too, but I mean the
That's what
richest
Mel Gibson thinks.
say what now?
That's what Mel Gibson thinks.
That they're trying to get rid of them, or like
Yeah, they want the people out, man.
Well, I mean, because correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of those people they pay a lot of taxes. So
13% state.
I don't. So I hear what you're saying, Bobby. Well, one thing I know most people don't do is they're not gonna mess up the bag. So that's messing up the bag. You burning down your own money.
Yeah.
Those are your taxpayers that are putting money in your funds. So I don't unless someone did
There's
some
more to
type
do
of
it.
due diligence and maybe this smart city you're speaking of can make more money than what all those millionaires are paying in taxes. That's a lot of money because
They got to get
Go ahead.
They got to get the insurance companies to come back. A lot of the insurance companies that are insuring for fire dropped a lot of these people 3 years ago. And so a lot of these people, honestly, they don't even have insurance to fall back on. And if they do decide to rebuild, they're not going to be covered for fire insurance because insurance is no longer covering fire here because it's been such a consistent thing every year without them fixing it, that not only did those people in Palisades not or lose their fire insurance, if they want to rebuild, it's going to be so much red tape for them to even requalify. And who's going to want to insure a place that's been burned to the ground already,
It's uninsurable. So yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot going on because another theory that I had was maybe, and actually Kick It Free just joined. We were talking about it last week in the group we were in. What if it could be someone middle class, low class, poor, and they're looking at those people sitting fat and happy in the hills. I'm like, why they get to be fat and happy? Let me just go ahead and get rid of that.
Yeah, man. You go to Wilshire Boulevard, it's 1 block south or west of Sunset, and that's where all the homeless encampments are
right
at,
there. Yeah. So I mean, someone who's pissed off. I mean, I haven't met too many homeless people that were happy. Where maybe they had a chip on their shoulder. You know what? You want to know how it feels like to be homeless? Come on and join the club, pimp.
All it takes is a young person, a young 20-year-old kid out on the street living the life of a homeless person, a homeless hipster, gonna make a point to prove to his little buddy clicks, like, hey, look, I started that shit right there, man.
Yeah.
It's still burning. 3 weeks later, still burning. They ain't even looking in my hut over here.
It could be one or the other. Kick Your Free said land grab, so I think he's going with what Bobby was saying.
Yeah.
They're trying to burn it down and clear space for the smart city.
But I wonder because I know that there's people that I've talked to who live in California who want to leave, but they said the exit tax was was expensive.
Yeah, you got to pay to leave now too.
So if you relocate, are you tax exempt from that exit tax, or what does that look like?
Nah, California is going to get their money any way they can, and if there's been something that's put in place, they're not going to take it back to benefit people. They're not. These politicians in California do not give a fuck about us citizens in fucking California, man. I don't believe it. I haven't seen any positive changes in my entire fucking life here in Los Angeles. I've been alive for 42 years, and honestly, it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
So we got a question from Creative Native. Is baby oil flammable?
Probably.
They took all that though.
Shit, man. You think that Diddy ain't the only one with bottles of baby oil, man? He was connected to the goddamn Playboy Mansion with an underground tunnel, man. He probably furnished all the Playboy Mansion with baby oil, man.
Too, that these fires were started intentionally to obviously burn evidence. If you're in the middle of doing a police investigation, but all your shit goes up in blaze, what investigation is there? Everything.
Hey man, he got something on a lot of people. That's people was talking about that forever. He said it was in the tunnels. That's funny. So the tunnels came up too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't a lot of those tunnels remnants of the Prohibition era? Because they had them here in San Antonio. I've been to a couple of places downtown. Friends of friends that own companies, and they took me down and to see like there's tunnels that they had and stuff, that they had bars, and they still had the wood and stuff on the bars from those Prohibition era bars. So they had that in a lot of your major markets, LA, Chicago, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of that underground stuff is still around from the Prohibition era, huh?
I mean, it's possible they were built around that time, but that doesn't mean that they weren't repurposed for something more sinister in the future.
Yeah, and even before Prohibition, there's like the sewer systems that were set in place, man. So the whole entire architecture of the underground layout for our sewer system would have been set up in play with the creation of our city. So when these people were,
you know where I learned that from? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Come on now.
Yeah, right. So like, there's already a system of tunnels that are accessed all throughout Los Angeles. It's just there are certain parts of this tunnel that can be diverted into different areas and locations. That's no doubt what they were using. They figured out a way to use the fucking LA sewer system to link houses and do all of their illegal shit that they wanted to hide, man. And you could drive cars to these fucking things now too, I hear. Like I saw that video of what's his kid? Will Smith's kid, I think, did a video in the tunnels, Yeah, there's a video out there.
Jaden did?
Yeah, it was one of those kids. It was either Will Smith's kid or one of Diddy's kids. I think it was Will Smith's kid, Jaden Smith, the weird one who dresses like a woman sometimes.
Yeah, Jaden.
I think it's Jaden Smith. So, I mean, I think what you're highlighting, man, is the importance of, we talked about this during election season, right? So there was so much emphasis on the federal elections. I wonder how many people outside of Bobby, because I know Bobby did it, actually read all the local, issues that were being proposed, right? Like how many, it sounds like either people weren't reading what they were voting on. Maybe they was just checking the box, or they just read it and didn't give a damn. You know what I mean? Because it has to be one or the other. Either you just didn't read, or you read it, you didn't give a damn, or you read it and you're dumb.
There's one other thing too. It kind of ties in with not reading it though. But a lot of times when you vote on these issues, if you just pick the one president and you don't pick any of the other elected officials, you automatically elect whatever is on the Democratic side of the ticket. So you voting for people you might not necessarily want to vote for. If you don't go in and vote for that other person, and you pick like Trump to win, you're going to get everybody who's on Trump's ticket too, unless you vote for somebody else on his ticket and shit like that, So,
and more importantly, the policies that come with that.
Yeah. That's what it comes down to, policies. Because I'm one of those guys. I skip over that a lot of times.
I've talked about how we do the federal elections and everybody wants change, but nobody's willing to vote locally for people because it all starts here.
Yeah, props, something.
There.
Yeah, all those propositions and stuff like that. Because Trump, maybe you were wanting to vote for Trump, but did if you were voting for Trump, did you take the time out to read your local propositions that were being proposed?
Yep, I voted for judging,
maybe
councilman.
Not you, but just in general.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think that's the important thing is, yeah, a lot of people in California don't like Galvin Newsom. But at the end of the day, someone voted him in. And then, I mean, this wasn't his first term, was it?
Yeah.
How many
Well,
terms has he had?
his first term as governor, yes, but he's been an official in California for like 12 years or 13 years.
Hey,
You
someone had
know,
to vote him in. So, I
yeah.
mean, if
Well,
y'all
he
don't
was
like,
recalled. We
all
recalled
right.
him, and somehow he beat the recall. And there was a lot of skepticism placed on how he was able to beat the initial recall last year because
I
of the
remember
fire
that.
situation. We
Yeah.
wanted to recall his ass because he failed so terribly in up north with that fire last year,
And I hear
or the
you.
year before
Simple
that,
answer,
rather.
though. When is the next election that his term is up?
Probably if it's not this year, then probably next year. It wasn't last year, and I believe the mayor is every 2 years. I don't know the governorship.
So it sounds like, well,
I don't
one,
know.
should probably learn it, right? Because then now you can get a bunch of people on board to vote his ass out. I mean,
Yeah, I
'cause
think it's every 4 years with the
you have the
elections.
power. And that's the most that was one of the things that Bobby had kept telling people: read your local policies, right? The mayor, y'all don't like her, vote her ass out. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's
Well, you
really
got to keep
simple.
in mind too, though, that Los Angeles and California has been, predominantly Democrat for so long, that maybe now we're starting to see some people.
California is not a Democrat state. I've already
Maybe,
discussed it. It's
maybe
not.
now
It
we'll,
only has Democrat cities, but a majority of
yeah,
California is actually red.
yeah,
And
especially now.
regardless, at the end of the day, what really matters is the vote. So, I mean, if
Yeah,
there's enough of y'all that don't like those people at the different levels of the government, vote their asses out. Like that's the biggest thing that I'm pulling from this, right? Like in terms of the fire, like prioritize the solutions, but long term, the power's with the people, man. And
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, like show me that energy that everyone has at the ballot. Vote them out. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's unfortunate what happened now, but you have the power. And I think that was the biggest thing we were trying to impress upon anyone watching us, even with the federal election. You got the power. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Vote
And all I
them
was, yeah,
out.
the only point I was trying to make was the fact that it seems like more people are starting to have their eyes open to not just falling in line with picking Democrat, because that has been the way of Los Angeles for a long time, where it doesn't matter who it is, you're going to vote Democrat, period. And this was the first year I've ever seen it so red. And so that shows me, like, yeah, okay, people are changing their mind. They're not just buying in, but this is going to push people even further. And so, in Los Angeles, it was still blue. The whole coastline
Well,
is Democrat.
I think the most important thing is that regardless if you're red or blue, you should be familiar with the policies. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Governance, right? I mean, I got the hat right here, man. I mean, governance is power right there. You got to read. If you want to be red, you should read. If you want to be blue, you should read. Because if you're typically blue, but then you read the blue policies and you don't like it, you might want to go red, and then vice versa. If you're normally red and you read some policies and you don't like it, don't be a dummy and vote red just to vote red. Vote for something else that you do like. Like it goes both ways, man. That's kind of what I'm picking up on, man. Because I've heard those conversations of Democrats will always vote Democrats. Well, shouldn't they even read those policies too?
That's not true in this last election.
Yeah, I think people are changing.
Well, so because my concern is maybe they just voted for something different just to have something different. I'm not convinced that people are actually doing their due diligence. You know what I mean? Because that's what it sounds like it happened in California.
Yeah, I mean, I could look at myself. I could look at my mom, for instance, too. Sometimes we just vote blindly just because we don't, where that's what we're used to. And you're so afraid of listening to the other side's opinion, it seems like, that you'll just, well, I don't like him, so I'll suffer, and
So today, President Trump talked about what he wanted to leave behind in his legacy. He wants to be known as a peacemaker and a unifier. And I think that I don't want to say it's time because it's always time. Yesterday it was time too, but to actually um, bring that unity to the table. Like lay down whatever your differences are. We've got a country to take care of. It is truly America first. If our taxes are to go to help America, they should be here in the homeland. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I'm with that. I'm definitely with that. So, let me see it, man. Hey, don't talk about it, be about it. Hey, if Kamala would have won, okay, I would be like, let me see it, girl. Don't talk about it, be about it. I hear you talking. You know what I mean? Let me see you do something. So I don't care who you are. I believe it when I see it. And if I don't like it, then I'm definitely gonna make sure I do more due diligence the next time around to vote the way the stuff I want. You know what I
You know
mean?
what I like? You know what I liked? I liked seeing Barack Obama and Donald Trump sitting there talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Being cordial and friendly with each other. It was sad that it was at a funeral, you know, but the fact that you could take these two guys who have had some things to say about each other and they could sit there in a quorum and show respect and courtesy to each other was like, you know, that was nice to see, man. It was nice to see two people make an effort to try and, unite
You know,
the two
I
sides, because
think
there is
that
two
also,
sides.
I think that also highlights just the whole entertainment element of politics. Anyway, it's like WWE, man. Like they're all politicians. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna give a front like their enemies.
I don't know. Kamala Harris seems pretty standoffish.
She was real pissed.
And maybe you have some that are just real like that, right?
Yeah.
Anything, I feel like I respect her more for actually being real and not actually being in the facade of it all, right? Because after hearing some of those choice words I heard from Obama, I was in awe to see him be that cool with Donald Trump. But I'm like, oh, this is just the game. I'm watching WWE right here because how can you say you're a threat to the democracy, like so powerful, but then he keying with him? I'm like, okay, this is entertainment, man. And I said that before. Like I felt like I was watching the telenovela with this last election season. So I mean, it's all politics, man.
Honestly, Geronimo, that's why I didn't feel bad when he didn't shake her hand, because of what you just said. You know, when you say something so much about somebody else, the fakeness that you would have to put on to go up and then shake that person's hand and put on a facade like they weren't just tearing you down for the last 2 months.
We're calling you a Nazi.
Yeah, is I wouldn't have shaken her hand either. And I thank you for mentioning that, because it's the exact flip side, but the same point, you know.
No, I hear you with that. And at least she kept that same energy, because she went in there was like, I don't like you, but we got a job to do, right? And
you're right. I could appreciate that. You're right.
I can appreciate that, and I can appreciate her keeping that same energy. Like, nah, I don't fuck with you, dog.
Yeah, I don't fuck with you. Yeah, that was the look. Like, nah. All right. Fuck y'all then.
Yeah. So I saw that today in inauguration. I'm like, yeah, keep that same energy. At least I could respect that because I know how you feel. You know what I mean? Like most politicians, man, I don't know what you feel like that, because we're seeing it. You know what I mean? It's all just a game, man. That's why I think it's really important, man. Read your stuff, dog. Read. Don't nobody want to read no more, man. Read, dog.
Yeah.
So,
it'll be interesting this next coming election for California, especially if a lot of people whose homes burned down were supporters of Karen Bass. I would want to know. I would be the same way too. If I voted for you, where the hell were you?
See, that's the thing. It was those were loyal Democratic supporters who fund thousands of dollars to the Democratic Party, and their Democratic leaders, they're saying their own leaders dropped the ball. And they were the ones who are supporting them. So yeah, you fucked up your bankroll, and now you're no longer going to be bankrolled by these people. And,
so I'm gonna say to California what I said about Kamala: to have that same energy when it's voting time. Then I should be seeing all that energy from the outrage I'm hearing from people in California. Then they should be voting for the other people. You know what I'm saying? The next. When the voting season comes around for that, because it's like, then it's like, okay, now I'm gonna look at you like Obama. Like, if you all of this that happened, if y'all vote Newsom in again,
not me, man. I ain't got no control over that shit, bro. They vote the way they vote, man. If I could change their minds, I would. There's nothing I could tell my mom that will ever get her to jump from the Democratic Party ship. She is locked in, dead set, anchored, and will not fucking ever go anywhere. And she could be the smartest fucking person in the world trying to convince her. She's just so convicted in her feelings, and there are so many people like that.
And there's too many people voting on feelings and not policies. That's
right.
I mean, and I will say this: that's the genius of a lot of politicians. They know that. They know, hey, I'm gonna put it there because I have to by law, right? But you ain't gonna read it. As long as I charm you up a bit, like Corey said, come with that charm.
Say the right thing.
They talked about that today when we were watching the inauguration. They had said that one of the things that the Democrats did was real good was tell people, oh, this bill has this and this and this and this in it, and you just need to support it and sign it. And so they were good about pushing a portion of something and not the whole meat and potatoes of everything. And the Republicans are not good at that. They'll tell you the whole meat and potatoes of everything. And so when they do that, it doesn't look pretty. They don't give it to you in a handcrafted basket. So more people aren't willing to, they're not going to digest that. But the Democrats were really good about wrapping it in a bow.
And for that reason,
I worded it so good. I'm cutting it up.
I think voters need to take more accountability. You want certain things, make sure you know what you voting for. You know what I mean? Because I mean, it's cool what they say. They're one side is gonna say something about the other side gonna say something about the other side, and we're gonna do the other side step, man. Everybody just
you know what?
Don't be a single all over the place.
I hate that dance, man. I hate it.
Don't be a single issue voter. Don't vote for one person based off of one issue. That one issue may be 100,000 other people are going to say no to this issue, and your candidate's not going to get elected because of that one issue. Actually, it was 7 others that were the real problem, but you were only focused on this. Just this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be on the individual because you may have one issue that that holds more weight than others. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even if you at least read one of the issues, read at least one. Most people don't even read one.
Yeah.
They just go off of what they hear on the news, man.
And they're fired up about something they hardly even know anything about. So when you begin to ask questions, you're like, wait a second. You don't even know what the heck. You don't even know what the heck you're talking about. You're over here just spouting stuff that you heard.
Yeah, California wakes up when it comes down to Prop 420 and shit, so you could legalize marijuana, but other things we're pretty slow on, you know?
Yeah, they read that, huh?
I know, right? You read that.
All right, Dr. Poole. So close us out as our special guest. What final thought do we need to have as we close this thing out?
Well, if you're a prayerful person, pray for LA and California. You know, we need it.
Yeah, definitely.
And ultimately, you know, just some good rain. We could probably use some rain here. It hasn't rained all year so far, so we definitely need some rain. Pools are destroyed. All my accounts are terrible. I've been working overtime because
hard to hear that, brother, man.
So it's all good. I didn't lose too many accounts. I only lost a couple. And you know, I lost an account, but they lost their home. So it's
good point.
It's small in comparison, but I'm keep it pushing, you know. If you're in my industry though in Los Angeles, a lot of people lost a lot of business. Every single one of those houses had a contract with a pool cleaner, probably. You know, so I'll find out more from the guys who I contract from, but it's just a mess here in California. It's just a fucking mess here, dude. I need to get out of here. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here as soon as possible. Man.
Come to Texas, man.
Come to Texas. Hey. No state tax here.
Yeah, I'm paying 13%, and I gotta breathe fire air, you know. And
jeez, I got a question for you, Dr. Poole. Because I donated to a reputable foundation out there. Because my aunt actually had to evacuate out of Hollywood. And I just donated to what she told me to donate because she knew about it. Who would you recommend people to donate so people know their money's actually going to help people?
2 places. Definitely send the Los Angeles Fire Department any fucking money that you can send them because they are terribly underfunded, and they were the ones who probably feel the worst about the situation, just standing there watching people's houses burn down and not being able to do anything about it. Red Cross is another good one. You could always, you know, volunteer stuff at the Red Cross. Los Angeles has some websites. I'm sure if you went to like la.org-fire donation, you could, you know, search for particular sites, but definitely at least look up like the Red Cross and the Los Angeles Fire Department. our city, the fire department says they're terribly underfunded. So even if we could just get some money to where citizens could go in there and help restore some of these fire departments and fix some of these out of commissioned fire trucks, it'd be helpful. My business is doing okay though. You can call me, reach me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? DR Pool. Yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. We're survivors here.
Hit them up. Once we recover, man, you need that pool service. Hit up Dr. Pool. Now, thanks for that, man. So LA Fire Department, send some money out there if you can. And then the other sites at losangeles.gov, I would assume is the website.
Yeah, it's got to be in la.org. I could post something if we got a couple minutes. I'll look something up real quick.
Shoot it to me, and then I'll make sure it's in the description below. And then Bobby.
Okay.
What do you help people with out here in San Antonio, man?
So out here supporting 3 different counties surrounding San Antonio. We service Bear, Atascosa, Medina County, and Wilson County. I am the owner of Patriot Restorations, LLC. We focus mainly on water damage done to your home. So if your pipe should burst, especially with this very cold, freezing weather that we have, please reach out to me. Let us help get you taken care of. We do work with your homeowner's insurance agency, so you won't actually be paying us out of pocket at all, but we are going to be here to help you mitigate any risk as well in the future with anything having to do with water mitigation. And just a final thought, definitely prayers for all of Los Angeles. That's without a doubt. I am a prayerful person. I am a Christian first and foremost, and we are going to pray regardless of race, religion, background, creed, or even political status. Everybody's a child of God, and everybody needs to be prayed for. And just remember, the quality of your decisions determines the quality of your life. So let's be making good decisions.
I like that.
A couple other ones real fast. You could donate Salvation Army. They got one up for the LA wildfire donations. And also there is a LA Food Bank, lafoodbank.org for food and supplies. LA Food Bank, secure LA Food Bank.
Yeah. Y'all look them up, y'all. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for sharing that. And then you can find me at IG tech_Vaughn_go. I might be on TikTok soon. I mean, hey man, you couldn't stop that train, man.
Came back around, bro. It's cheaper now. That's gonna be cheaper for you. You're gonna enjoy it more.
So definitely hit these folks up, man. Send some love out there to LA, man. My heart goes out to all of LA. That is home. But besides of it just being home, man, I want to know that people are safe. So if you can help donate, we'll put some of those links in the description below when we repost this. Other than that, thank you, IG, Facebook, YouTube for tuning in with us. Y'all have a good night. We are out.
See you guys.